Yo, what's good, my peoples? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to bring you another WWE Night of Champions 2014 pay per view. So it's Night of Champions 2014. I'm also going to do an NXT review at the end of this, and I got some other things to talk about as well. But I'm a little sick, so I'm not going to do any like major pictures of me or showing any video of me right now. But let's get into the review, and let's start off with the Tag Team Champions match. I didn't get a chance to watch the pre-show, but I did see a little bit of it, and I'll talk about it later on. But the Tag Team Champions match featuring the Usos versus the Dust Brothers, or aka Golden Stardust. And this match right here was a very fun match. You had Goldust, who had a new face paint tonight and kind of a new suit on. You know, them and the Usos just went a lot of back and forth, a lot of aerial moves, and just a lot of good heel stuff between Stardust and the Usos, and just the way Stardust did things like taking off his glove and slapping around the Usos and stuff like that. I really did like the way that you had both teams interact with each other in the way that they fought here. They kept it a good, nice, fast paced here. It wasn't as good as their matches with the Wyatts, but I really did think that both teams did a good job of going back and forth with each other and just, having a lot of nice touches in this match. It went down with the Dust Brothers featuring Stardust do a roll up after the Usos come up with some offense. He hits a roll up onto the Usos and they pick up the win in your new tag team champions, world tag team champions of the WWE, are the Gold and Stardust, or Dust Brothers, or whatever the hell they're gonna call them. But yeah, happy to see these guys get the tag teams titles. I thought they did it in a good match here, and it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with these guys from here. The Usos had the belts for a very long time, and I thought they did a good job when they had the belts too. Not really good with the promos, but their matches were top notch. So next you get your United States title match, Sheamus versus Cesaro, and this is another match, man. It took a lot to build up to, but this is another good match, and these two just went at each other. A lot of brutal moves, a lot of back and forth, a lot of these two just going at each other and ground and pound, and a lot of just beating on top of each other. The beginning of the match had a lot of just regular wrestling into it, and I don't think it just got the crowd into it as much as it needed to, because the storyline between these two guys isn't hot enough for a start of a match just to be regular wrestling and a lot of mat-based moves. But once they got into just the technical, I mean not technical, but just the brutality of the match and just going at each other with the hits and stuff like that, it really started getting into it. Sheamus tried to hit a few bro kicks, missed them. Cesaro did come in with some really nice slams and stuff like that, and really nice reversals. But in the corner, he ends up trying to hit a few moves, but ends up getting hit with the bro kick after the referee tries to break them two up, and Sheamus just hits him with the bro kick. So really fun match, had a really nice build up to it, and a really nice way to end it. Sheamus is still United States champion, so very fun match there. Next you get Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Before this, you had Dolph Ziggler cut a promo in the back with R-Truth, basically bullshit and talk about what they're going to do to The Miz tonight and stuff. And you had something that also kind of messed this match up, which was you had the Florida Georgia line coming out, and they were promoting the new CD and the fact that they're going to be on Tribute to the Troops in December and stuff. So you had a match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. A lot of back and forth here. This is basically a continuation of what they did at SummerSlam. They work very well together. They have a lot of nice moves with each other and stuff like that, and just a very good pacing between each other. You had Ziggler and Mizdow attack each other on the outside and go back and forth after Mizdow goes after Ziggler for a little bit. But just a lot of back and forth between these two guys and everything. You had Georgia Line get into it when Mizdow, I want to say Sandow, but they're calling him Mizdow, tries to yell at them and talk shit to them, and he gets pushed by them and stuff like that. But you get back into the match where they were just, these two just going at it and having fun and just really, having a nice match with each other. You had Ziggler being put into the figure four by The Miz. Ziggler ends up getting out of it. Sandow tries for the distraction. Ziggler hits him with the kick. And The Miz rolls up Ziggler, picks up the win, and actually rolls up and pulls on the tights and actually shows Ziggler ass at one point when he was rolling up with the tights. But Pretty fun match. It had a problem with the announcing, with more of the focus being on the Georgia line, but I thought Ziggler and Miz did their thing here and really came out looking nice. And the Miz picks the belt back up right after the next on this pay-per-view, so pretty good right there. Next, you would get what was supposed to be the Night of Champions match was Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. You also had this match on Monday Night Raw where you saw Roman Reigns pick up a win over on Seth Rollins. And what you get is some breaking news that Roman Reigns had a hernia surgery on, I think it was Saturday night before Night of Champions, so he wasn't able to compete tonight. So you had Seth Rollins come out, basically talk shit about Roman Reigns, saying that he's not good enough, he couldn't compete, even though Seth Rollins got his ass beat on Monday night. But Roman Reigns couldn't compete, and Seth Rollins gets his hand raised and win by forfeit. So he then challenges people in the back to come out and fight him and stuff like that. And out of nowhere, taxi pulls up. Dean Ambrose is not going to Raw in a limousine. Taxi pulls up and outshoots Dean Ambrose. He runs to the ring, starts beating the shit out of Seth Rollins and taking it all around the ring and stuff. The security comes out, and Dean Ambrose, man, jumps on top of the security. Seth Rollins is not even behind them. He just runs on the little lights things, jump on the security, attacks Seth Rollins again, and just gets into the ring, beating the shit out of him. They hold him back. Triple H brings out the ties, tie up Dean Ambrose, haul him out the ring, and they hold up Seth Rollins' hands. So, I'm not sure whether or not this whole thing with, if I can find a picture somewhere, with Roman Reigns is real or not, and whether or not if it's a work or a shoot. But I think they just really want to get him off of TV, and getting him to win on Raw was the big thing for him. And I think that it may be real. He may have needed this, and they just wanted to set it up to where, he can still work with the hernia and just get this surgery afterwards. But, it is what it is, and you get what you get. And I thought that, this whole beatdown thing with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins was done very nicely, and it was just a good way to get these guys over and to get their stuff going on to the future. Hopefully we can get a Hell in a Cell match out of these two, and I thought this was a pretty good, little segment that wasn't replaced of what we was going to get with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. So next we get Mark Henry versus Rusev. And you get to see Mark Henry come out in new tights, which were given to him backstage by the Big Show, where the Big Show rallied up Mark Henry. And when Mark Henry came out, you had Jillian Garcia come out and sing the national anthem for everybody, along with a crying Mark Henry, who basically was getting emotional about the whole USA thing and about his match and stuff like that. So I thought the crying was kind of goofy at first, but I thought it added a little bit more to the emotional aspect of his match. And Rusev comes out, and the setup of this match is Rusev versus Henry. Rusev attacking the lower back of Mark Henry and just beating the shit out of him the whole time. Mark Henry do get some offense here, and attack Rusev, hits him with the World's Strongest Slam and stuff, but Rusev has worked on Mark Henry's back for this whole time, and it doesn't really work. You get Rusev, who puts Mark Henry into the accolade several times. Mark Henry does get out of it once, but at the end, Henry's unable to get out. Rusev makes Mark Henry tap, and Rusev picks up the win here. So, pretty solid match there. I like the intro to the match with the stuff with Mark Henry and Jillian and the national anthem stuff. I like that they're making Rusev still seem dominant here. Mark Henry seemed dominant at the beginning of the match, and Rusev had to do a lot of heelish stuff here by rolling out the ring and throwing Mark Henry into the steps and stuff like that. So some good stuff here, pretty solid, nothing too great here, but I think it did its job. So after that, you get Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho, and this right here was played up on the pre-show. I'm not sure if there's anything else on the pre-show. This is basically, I saw this at the end of the pre-show, which was basically all three of these guys plus Christian, who was doing his peep show, just talking shit back and forth with each other. Some jackass names and Total Divas names were being called at each other and stuff. Nothing big out of there, but it all leads into this match right here. And I think both of these two had a nice back and forth with each other. Really did, go at each other and use every aspect of the ring and the outside for each other. I thought Chris Jericho did look a lot better here. He's able to keep up a better pace with Randy Orton. Plus, the whole show, and matter of fact, had a good pace to it. So, they had to keep up with the show, and Chris Jericho couldn't really keep a too slow of pace like he had with Bray Wyatt, which was a good thing. But yeah, both of these guys really did get a nice go at it with each other. Once Chris Jericho hit the walls of Jericho onto Randy Orton, it looked good. It got the crowd popping, and it just got everything going for a good feeling into the match. And this time the crowd actually got into a Chris Jericho match like they did on the Raw match with him and Wyatt. Unlike the last two pay-per-view matches where the crowd really wasn't into it, and Chris Jericho just had to fight his way through the match, fight the crowd and stuff. But here, they both got a good feeling here. Randy Orton got a lot of heat here and stuff as well. And a match comes out where Randy Orton how do you say this? Randy Orton tricks Chris Jericho and ends up hitting the RKO off of the top rope, flying Chris Jericho. So you see it right there. I don't really have to explain it, but that's what happened. I thought the match itself was pretty good. Very solid and very nice way for Chris Jericho to end out and leave the show. Randy Orton pick up the win, so going to see what they're going to do with him to further himself going on forward. But yeah, pretty good win here, and some more stuff with Randy Orton. So after this, you get your last title match, undercard matches, and it was the Divas title match, and it was Paige versus Paige versus I'm tripping right now, but Paige versus Nikki versus AJ for the Divas title. And this right here was a match that I thought that was going to be whack at first because of the circumstances that were surrounding it, with everything with Nikki and Brie and stuff. You had a promo backstage by Brie that was very scripted as hell, and she had a hard time trying to get out. But also you had a very nice video package with Paige, which I thought really did a good job of selling this match. But it was certain things that just made me not want to really watch this match. But I think that certain things did get this match started off very nicely, like Paige and Nikki arguing, then deciding to attack AJ. AJ hits him with the boots. And just the match itself, the way it goes out, the character that Paige was putting into this, screaming at Nikki and at AJ and stuff, I thought that was very well done. But also just Nikki did hold herself up in this match, and they were able to work with Nikki and her limits and stuff like that. I thought AJ did a really good job here at keeping everything going, and I thought Paige did as well. They did get to one spot where they were doing the Tower of Doom thing, where the superplex with a big power bomb. And the one problem here was that you can kind of hear Paige trying to set up the move and stuff like that, and talking, where is Nikki? Is she here yet? And stuff like that. So Paige got to kind of keep it down when she's doing that type of move. But I thought the move itself looked nice, and the girls did it very well. So got a big spot out of there. And it comes down where where AJ is outside of the ring. She basically pulls Nikki down, slams her onto the ground, gets back in the ring, puts Paige into the Black Widow. Paige tries to get out. AJ gets it back on, and Paige ends up having a tap, and you have a new Divas champion, AJ Lee. At this part of the match, towards the end, like, I was watching the show on my phone, so somebody called me, and I didn't really get a chance to see it, so I had to watch it back. But it all worked out nicely. And yeah, I was watching the show on my phone. It actually worked pretty well, so it all worked nicely. I thought it was a very fun match here, and it did exactly what it needs to do. It wasn't as good as the last match at SummerSlam, but I thought it did exactly what it needs to do, and it's very solid. And nice to see AJ pick up the win here, and hopefully they can get some more stuff out of Paige and AJ, and hopefully some better stuff here. So next you get your final match of the night in your WWE World Heavyweight Titles match. Your WWE World Heavyweight Titles match is pretty late, people. John Cena versus the WWE Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar. And this match, man, started off with Brock Lesnar coming out looking dominant, looking strong, and Cena just taking it to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar tried to get him into the German suplex. Cena fought out of it, hit Brock Lesnar with the AA. Then you get Brock Lesnar just going at Cena, hitting him with the German suplex, hitting him with regular suplex, hitting him with the triple suplexes, and just going at him. You did get Cena, who tried to come back, but Brock Lesnar was getting him in every which way, putting him into the Kimura lock, tightening up Kimura locks on him. Cena did get some good punches in and stuff like that. Cena really tried his best to get out of everything, tried to power out of everything and stuff. Hit Brock Lesnar with some AAs and stuff like that. I think he hit him with 3 AAs in this match. But yeah, he did show some good stuff here. A lot of punches and stuff like that. But Brock Lesnar still looked very dominant, and it still looked like he, even though Cena was trying to do his best, it always looked like Brock Lesnar was going to win this match. You get to the end where Brock Lesnar is being put into the STF, and it looks like Cena's may end up picking up the win on Brock Lesnar, even though I think that Brock Lesnar still looked very strong here. And that's when you get Seth Rollins, who comes in for the interference, hits Cena with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and you end up finding out that Cena, well, before they announced that, hits Cena with the briefcase, throws Cena out the ring, hits Brock Lesnar with the curb stomp, looks like he's going to cash in, but before he can do that, gets thrown out and thrown into the announce table by Cena. Cena runs back in the ring, F5 to Cena, and when you get to the end, Brock Lesnar is still champion. Cena's looking defeated, and like I said, Lesnar's still champion. So as far as the match goes, I thought the match was done very well. I thought Cena looked strong here, but Brock Lesnar just looked 10 times stronger. Cena tried his best, and he kept going with the whole thing of, Brock Lesnar just can't be beat right now. And it kind of tried to show the fact that maybe Cena could beat Lesnar, but you can tell the way the match was going, the way Brock Lesnar looked, he still had a lot in him, and that Cena wasn't going to win anyway. Seth Rollins just saved Cena from getting his ass beat, but Cena did pick up the win by DQ, so we're going to continue with this feud probably into Hell in a Cell. It's probably going to get a Hell in a Cell match out of this. As far as this whole thing with Seth Rollins goes, I have no problem with it, to tell you the truth. I think that if anybody was going to be either Rusev or Seth Rollins to break up this match, because I don't think they wanted to end it here. I think they wanted to get a third match out of this. So it does push more story in here, and does show Seth Rollins does have the briefcase, in that he could be something that, comes in if these two beat the living shit out of each other, come in and maybe pick up that belt here. So it's interesting to see where they're going to go from this, and, hopefully we can get some good build up into the next Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and not the way we was building up into this Night of Champions pay-per-view. But yeah, pretty good show. I give it a B, maybe a B+, but most definitely a solid B show. Not as good as SummerSlam, but it was a very fun show. And yeah, so a little bit of a downer here. Michael Moody, Paul Bear's son, passed away, and this is him. He passed away, I think, tonight. I'm not sure if it was tonight or last night, but he passed away, and just kind of some fucked up shit after the dad passed away. Now one of the sons passed away, so yeah, just hitting you with that news. But try to lift the spirits up. Let's talk about some NXT. So this WWE NXT happened on the 18th, I believe. Yep, 18th, 2014, September, and this all kicks off with Titus O'Neil coming out, talking a bunch of shit about the whole NXT guys and them coming to Raw and stuff. Then you get the NXT, when you get NXT, Sami Zayn comes out. He talks shit to Titus O'Neil's, saying, you can't come here talking this shit. You've been getting beat up by Bunny, so what gives you the right? Then Adrian Neville comes out. Little conflict between him and Sami Zayn. Adrian Neville basically says if anybody's going to protect NXT, it's going to be him. Then you get Tyson Kidd, who comes out, says that everybody's in the ring is losers except for Titus. And then you get your general manager, William Regal, coming out, and he basically says, quit the chibba chabba and let's fight. So he sets up a match later on the night, Tyson Kidd, Titus O'Neil versus Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. So as far as the opening segment goes, I thought it was okay. Titus O'Neil kind of stumbled a few places there, and had to catch himself up towards the end once Zayn came out. Zayn came out to a big pop, and I like that they're pushing a little bit more of the feud between Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. So next you get a Divas match, Emma versus Charlotte. I thought Charlotte did an okay job. I mean, not Charlotte, but I thought Yeah, well, Charlotte did a really good job here of working with Emma. Emma looked a little bit rusty here for some reason, like she was kind of off her game. But the match went fairly well. Charlotte ends up hitting her natural disaster, what they're calling it now, and picks up the win here and just walks out standing tall. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from Charlotte here. She had a defining win over Bayley at the NXT Takeover pay-per-view, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go from now. So after that, you get your debuting match with Kenta versus Justin Gabriel, and I thought this match was okay. I thought the debut itself was okay. Kenta did a lot of nice kicks here, a lot of nice taunting kicks and stuff like that, and he ends it with a big stomp onto Justin Gabriel. I thought Gabriel actually looked pretty well here and stuff. I thought he looked more fit now, and he looked better than he did a couple months back. But as far as this goes as a opening for Kenta, he still looks like he's a little too overzealous and like he's a little too excited to be there. So I guess it's a good thing to have him at NXT before you put him on the main roster. But I thought he looked very well as far as the match goes. After the match, you get the Ascension, who comes out, tries to attack Kenta. He holds his own for a little bit. You get some big lucha chants from the crowd here for them to come out and save Kenta. But the Ascension basically beat up on Kenta, hit him with the fall of man, and then stand tall over Kenta. So it's going to be interesting to see what they go from here. They're supposed to be having a match versus Lucha at the next show. So hopefully, things come out good here and they can get Kenta. Well, fuck, I keep calling him Kenta. Hideo Itami. Hopefully they can get Hideo Itami coming out looking strong here and, get him kind of to simulate it in with the whole NXT lifestyle. So after that, you get a pretty funny, which I thought was funny, little whatever you call it, promo video thing with Enzo Amore and Big Cass. You get Carmella, who comes in while they're training in the gym. She comes in, says that she's been fired from her shop, from the hair salon, or whatever you call it, and that she wants to be a diva now. She talks shit to Enzo and Cass, and then throws a medicine ball at Enzo, which I thought was pretty funny. I actually like Enzo as far as his comedy stuff. I heard some people didn't get a kick out of this. I did. Damn near anything that Enzo does is funny to me. Way better than Bromance or fucking. Way better than Bromance or what's his name? Zack Ryder, who people been asking this, he retired and stuff like that. So I thought Enzo was funny here. Not as funny as the stuff that happened at the Takeover that I was pushing for Takeover, but I thought this was okay here. Next, you get basically another squash match with Baron Corbin and CJ Parker. Baron Corbin squashes the shit out of CJ and still looking really good. And after that, you get your final main event with Titus O'Neil and Tyson Kidd versus Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. And the beginning of this match was just dominance between Sami and Adrian. A lot of back and forth with them. You get you get Sami Zayn, who hits a standing moonsault onto Tyson, and he get better than Adrian chance. Then Adrian goes and does a standing corkscrew moonsault onto Tyson Kidd, and just them going back and forth with each other. Then you get Titus O'Neil, who comes in, starts beating up on both of them guys. Tyson Kidd joins in with that, and then the match goes down where you get Tyson Kidd and Adrian Neville, all four of them going back and forth against each other. Sami Zayn did hit this nice spot where he basically bounced off the ropes and then did a backflip onto the guys on the outside, where he was blocking Adrian Neville from doing a suicide dive. But I thought all these guys did a really good job in this match. Tyson Kidd did keep a slow pace to it, keeping a strong man. Titus O'Neil, hard to say both of these names, but he kept a nice pace to the match and everything, and kept it, moving smoothly and stuff. But the match goes down where Titus pushes Adrian Neville off the ropes when he's trying to go for the Red Arrow. Tyson Kidd puts his knees up, and Neville hits it, and Tyson Kidd rolls him up for the win here, and that's your winner for the match. And you get basically both of them looking pissed off. So I thought it was an okay match here. As far as the NXT show goes, I thought it was pretty cool. If I was to give the show a rating, I'll give it a B-. I thought, it was pretty cool, a nice way to come off after the Takeover special events. But, pretty good two shows right there. I thought, Night of Champions, like I said, was pretty well done, and I thought NXT Takeover was pretty cool. So hopefully, we can get a good Raw and leading on to whatever. As far as the other reviews that I've been doing, for surely I'm gonna review Raw, and most definitely I'm gonna find a place to put my NXT review in because that's the only show I want to watch. I've been watching some TNA stuff on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back to watching the full show because it's just not interesting to me. So I've been like watching bits and pieces of it, like parts of the matches and stuff like that on the YouTube stuff. So I'll probably talk about it with my NXT review. I'm not going to really review SmackDown. I'll probably watch bits and pieces of that as well and just put it all into one review, one quick ass review that's mainly an NXT review. But we'll see what happens this weekend and whether or not I'll do my review. So thank you for watching this review, people. Thank you for comment, and subscribing if you do. If you don't, comment, subscribe, please. But hit me up in the links down below. In peace. See you Monday night.